Natural order is being restored. Natural order means you take a pomegranate, that encapsulated plastic-looking orb, and you keep it stacked inside of a wobbly pyramid composed of exactly 103 additional pomegranates. But the natural order is not a pomegranate split open to the seed sucked by the tongue and the lips, while teeth release the succulent sounds of its voluptuous disintegration. No. The natural order is not about a good time. And this is not a good time to be against the natural order. The increasing threats posed by conflict and hatred in our society pale in comparison to the threats we pose ourselves when growing comfortable with such patterns. However, as George Bernard Shaw once said, the possibilities are endless, as soon as we decide to act and not react. Act. A program of oral interpretation, including the poetry From Sea to Shining Sea by June Jordan, For the Men Who Still Don't Get It by Carol Deal, Front Page or Bust by Michelle Breedlove, Say Can You See by Patricia Smith, and This Land Is Your Land by Woody Guthrie, as well as the prose Executive Order number 13,769 by President Donald Trump, Georgia Girl Gang Raped by Barnini Chakraborty, and Refugee Arrivals in U.S. by Diane Solis. So act, before it's too late. This land is your land, this land is my land. Natural order is being restored. It's not a good time to be gay. Shortly before midnight, a Wednesday massacre felled 8 homosexual Americans and killed 2. One man was on his way to a deli, while the other was on his way out for a drink, and the police are listing it here as a faggot assault. But Elizabeth Taylor was on the front page as the ailing diva of film, and Donald Trump was on the front page as the man who can buy his cake and eat it too. And movie stars continue to take precedence over the homeless, and politicians' personal lives continue to take precedence over justice, and a black man was killed while surrendering to 2 white police officers who were both suspended with pay pending an investigation. Well, names like Elizabeth Taylor and Donald Trump are just fancy names for irrelevance. But all on the very front page. This land was made for you and me. Natural order is being restored. It's not a good time to be a child. Suicide rates among children have reached all-time highs as the incidence of child abuse and sexual abuse have both risen dramatically across the nation as well. Children are missing, and all of them are feared dead. Police said Wednesday that up to 25 males aged 12 to 25 raped and molested a 13-year-old mentally disabled girl after luring her off of a bicycle and into an apartment building. Police said 4 men met the girl and persuaded her to accompany them to an apartment where as many as 20 additional males attacked her. Now, if somebody can do such a horrible thing to a child, then what next? From California to the New York Island, natural order is being restored. It's not a good time to be a woman. Pursuing the theme of traditional values of freedom, our new leadership has pledged its opposition to the Equal Rights Amendment, which, in the words of our president, would only throw the weaker sex into a more vulnerable position among mischievous men. So what if the ability to menstruate was the prerequisite for most high-paying jobs? What if all women were bigger and stronger than you? And thought they were smarter than you too? What if every time women saw you, They'd hoot and make jerking motions with their hands. What if you had to explain what's wrong with your own car to beg sweaty women with greasy hands who stared at your crotch in a garage where you were surrounded by posters of naked men with hard-ons? What if you had to inhale your boss's stale cigar breath as she insisted that sleeping with her was just part of the job? And what if you still couldn't get away because the company's dress code required you to wear shoes that were designed to keep you from running? And what if after all of that, women still wanted you to love them? And all around me a voice was sounding, this land was made for you and me. Natural order is being restored. It's not a good time to be old. Streamliner plans for the federal budget now include elimination of Social Security as it exists. Similarly, both Medicare and Medicaid face severe reevaluation. Oh, say we've seen too much. The Star-Spangled Banner pushes like a cough through America's mouth, while the twilight's last gleaming is exactly that. One sickly final flash above our heads as we plop to our knees in churches to embrace truths that honestly disgust us. And what so proudly we wail each precise and stagnant chant we have been taught, pledging allegiance with misty eyes, hands slapped over our blubbering hearts, what so proudly we fail to hear it. The song we really need to sing, a song cluttered with impossible chords and sour obscenities, but a song loud enough to shake the dust off of these cities. But this is not the song that snakes through us, as our hungry mouths move once again into praise mode. And how wonderfully that thin, tinny melody is pulled through the air. And God bless this America. There's a big high wall there that tried to stop me, but this land was made for you and me. Natural order is being restored. It's not a good time to be foreign. As promised by the administration, the number of new refugees arriving in the U.S. is in sharp decline. This comes as the UN Refugee Agency says war and persecution have driven people from their homes in record high numbers for immediate release. Numerous foreign-born individuals have been convicted or implicated in terrorism-related crimes since September 11, 2001, including individuals who entered the United States through the U.S. Refugee Resettlement Program. Deteriorating conditions in certain countries now increase the likelihood that terrorists will use any means possible to enter the United States. The United States must be vigilant to ensure that those entering do not intend to harm Americans. This land is your land, this land is my land, this land was made for you and me. Natural order is being restored. But the natural order is not about a good time. And this is not a good time to be against the natural order. See, it's not a good time to be gay. It's not a good time to be black. It's not a good time to be a child, or a good time to be a woman, or a good time to be old, or to even be a pomegranate ripening on a tree. Because this is not a good time to be against the natural order. This is not a good time to be against the natural order. Because this is the only time for us to come together against the natural order. Roaming, rambling, sparkling, sounding, endless, golden, and free. Exploding like the seeds of a natural disorder. This is the only time for you and for me. This land was made for you and